Oh, and you left the session.
Oh, send me an invite real quick.
Oh, I need to find your gamer tag again. What's your gamer tag? I can't remember how to spell it. Zach.
There we go. There we go, we're back in. Well. Hello and welcome to the Breakout Race League, also known as BRL, here at round 17, here at the International Suzuka Circuit here at Japan. It's been notorious for championship battles and deciders, especially with the crashes. Back-to-back years of Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost in 1989 and 1990. I'm not sure which year was one, but I do know the first year was the chicane crash in Sector 3, and the next year after that one was the Turn 1 incident. The question is, will we have any kind of accident like that tonight, or will it be another calm race? I am your main comms activity for 2, but unfortunately, due to the fact that QuickTime cannot make it, I'll have my reserve commentator, Mumu. He'll be with me tonight. Mumu, what are you expecting for Tier 3 here tonight?
I think it'll be a straight fight between the championship contenders and Ichigo. That's how it's been most of the season, and I don't see that changing. So I think it'll be a very close race. Should be an interesting one.
Yes, it should, but with 10 drivers here tonight, half the grid will not be here, but the other half will, fortunately, as it seems like everyone is on an outlap for right now. Especially, it's actually been a split grid between these guys on the mediums and softs on an outlap, as my broadcast camera is in fact glitched right now, so you're gonna have to give me a second for it to fix itself.
And our first person that'll be starting lap will be Potato on the medium compound tires. Let's see how
yes, you're gonna have to keep up the timing sheets for me because I actually, if you tune into the stream immediately, I actually lagged out. Once I lagged out, it disconnected me while I was starting the stream up. So my qualifying timer is not correct, and you're gonna have to help me with it. And my broadcast camera is still glitched somewhat, but is looking for the championship standings. After the Singapore Grand Prix, we had a switch between Gary and Ron. Gary is actually in the lead by a point. Ron in P2 a point behind him. Third place, we have the Canadian BRL Ardell, who is actually 39 behind championship leader and 38 behind Ron. Fourth place, we have Kieran Evans, who's not showing up tonight, unfortunately. Sucks to not being see him out on track here tonight, but he's at 90 points. They'll stay for tonight. And in fifth place, we have Dixie Ishigo in the Alfa Romeo, who's actually showed up tonight on the softs. He's invalidated his outlap. As we look to the team championship, we have a swap for the leading constructors as well. We have Mercedes able to take reins over for the constructors championship over the Red Bull. And in third place, we have Ferrari with 218 points, 22 behind Mercedes and 18 behind Red Bull. I apologize for the little mishap there. Fourth, we have Alfa Romeo with 207, 33 behind Mercedes, and behind Ferrari, then we have Aston Martin, Alpine, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Austin Williams to conclude our Constructors Championship battle. Alistair right now, and Potato goes pole with a 31-2. And everyone is out on the track except for the AlphaTauri driver, Vite Doggo. The next driver to cross the line will be the new driver in the McLaren, Goofy. I'm assuming the NZL stands for New Zealand, but and I'm not 100%, so I'm just going to call him Goofy for the time being. He's going into the final chicane now. Let's see what lap time he's
also on the medium compound tires, and he goes second, about a second and a half adrift. So not the best lap, but lots of time to go up for more runs and improve.
Yes, 14 minutes left, around 13 minutes, 30 seconds for
Yeah, you're a
you.
minute behind.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Gary, invalidated. He's going out for another lap on the mediums. Whiffy, he's on a lap now going into... Looking for a driver to finish the lap time. I believe the next one will be... Yes, he's on the softs. He's set to purple sector 2.
He
Not
doesn't
sure
have
what
BRL
time
on
it
him,
was.
so I guess he's setting up to go. Yeah, he's setting up to go for another lap. Oh, Gary's retired. What's happened to Gary? He's crashed in the S's.
That is actually going to be one of the talking points as Potato improves to 30.9. I apologize, but the curbs here in Japan, they are really, really brutal. You saw in Realistic here, you were actually a victim of these curbs in Realistic here at P4 in the most weird spot for it to happen too. Just really, you have the most experience with these curbs. You're gonna have to do to negate through that problem.
Well, in qualifying, you kind of have to use all of them to maximize the lap to do your best to try and avoid them and try not to get caught out.
Yes, yeah, there's really not a lot we could do, especially with the setups too. Setups can play a factor. The setups, they can be made if they can really go through the curves or not. We're just have to wait and see. Skippy goes top with a 29.2 on tires, so it seems like I said earlier, we have a split between mediums and softs. Whiffsy just murdered one of the bollards. That's unfortunate. He's going in the pit lane now.
Ichigo coming to 130.
How you going?
Yeah, 9 seconds up, and he's actually pushing this lap. So, let's say when he gets on to the chicane, no bollards in the way, takes it quite nicely, and he decides to pit.
He's in the pits.
It's fun.
So it is looking like to me, no one is on a lap except for Potato. I think Potato is just doing laps really. Actually, he doesn't have his ERS on, so he's going in the pit lane this time. Same with Potato, probably. Actually, no, he still has his ERS on. Doing a flying lap. We'll have to wait and see. Eat Doggo's on a lap now, going through Sector 1. He's missing the curbs, actually. Willing to miss the apex, to not to hit those curbs. He kisses the curbs up there. He's doing fine. Now going through here. Seems like my broadcast camera for Sector 1 is a little bit broken. As he actually spins around.
The grass. And that spun him around.
Is that that's... Yeah, that's not a DNF, fortunately for the AlphaTauri driver, but still gonna have wing damage as both Bad Bunny and Ron, Ron on the softs, Bad Bunny on the mediums.
Goofy improves, I think.
Yes, he did a 31.6.
Stays in P3.
Bad Bunny is starting a lap now. Same with Ron, so these two drivers will be on the lookout. Yeet Doggo, like we noticed, spun off, he invalidated afterwards. Won't matter, though.
Bad Bunny taking this is quite nicely, getting very close to the curb, doing a bit of sliding, but you have to take it very fast. And he decides to hold in 6th gear, keep the car nice and stable. Coming through the Degners. Ooh, misses that inside curve. And this next apex. Coming into the hairpin where I spun my foot to the curve. Hairpin. Getting very close to the apex nicely. Going down into Swoon, he's got to keep a tight line. Minimize the distance. He chooses to take a kind of middle of the track. Into Spoon. Very close to the inside curve. Very nicely there. Very clean lap so far. From Bad Bunny, Sector 2 split it is, coming to 130R. Okay, 13.5, it's purple Sector 2, but the game always has purple Sector 2 most of the time, so... Is that purple? We won't know until they cross the line. But coming to... negotiates it very nicely, actually. And coming across the line, it's going to be 30.2. That's a very nice lap on the mediums.
Yeah, that... I'm not sure what the time differential is around Japan. Probably you do know between the softs and the mediums. Ron, P3 in the Ferrari, right behind Bad Bunny, goes P3 ahead of Bad Bunny, which is now P4 for 30 flat for the softs. So Bad Bunny putting down a very quick lap, especially the fact that it is on the medium compounded tire.
And yeah, I do know
Whiffy is invalidated.
Yeah, the gap between the softs and the mediums is about half a second. So keep that in mind.
Yes, the essential information for later on in qualifying. Potato is looking for another lap, maybe? I'm not sure. No, he's not actually. He's on the softs. His best lap time is on the mediums, so he's going to go for a new run on the softs compounded tire, going through sector 1, keeping it very clean, missing all the curves at the same time, missing the apex very cleanly. Yellow flag, I believe that is just Ardell slowing down to get a gap. And now going through sector 1, let's see what time is. A 32.8 up on his lap time. 30.6, that'll actually keep him where it is, but closer to Bad Bunny. Now, going into the hairpin now, very deep braking, do not lock up. You see, he locked up the front left a little bit. I do not believe it meant anything though, it was a little lock up. Now, going into Spoon, I believe. I do not know these quarter names, but yeah, Spoon, that's what that was. We're going into Spoon now, very clean on the throttle, very smooth inputs. Now, out of Spoon, now going on the long straight before 130R. Let's see what his sector 2 time is. Bad Bunny set a 13.5, Potato set to 13.2, 6 tenths up. That will put him at a 30.3 ahead of his teammate, but still behind the Ferrari driver, Vron. Now going into the chicane now. Keep it clean, do not invalidate, do not let those curbs make your car a little unstable. Now coming across the line, he sits at 30.2, which is P4 for 30.241 ahead of his teammate. It's now Goofy, and you see as she goes on an outlap.
Something interesting is that Skeppy's decided to go out on the medium compound tires, so I guess he's confident that he can beat a 29.2 that he said on the softs, I believe, on the mediums.
We're gonna have to see. It's his best lap time is on the soft, so we have to wait and see for the Haas driver, Skeppy, who's a reserve, by the way. I'd like to make that clear. He's not a full-time driver, he's a reserve. As he's starting his lap now, I believe he's invalidated. Yeet Doggo's going through sector 1 now. He gets on the grass a little bit, like how he did in his past lap. Seems like these drivers are already struggling going through sector 1.
Yeah, looks like Yeet Doggo's getting a lot of understeer through the but negotiates the two daggers quite nicely. And going into the hairpin, does he lock up? No, he does not. He misses the apex a little bit. A lot of understeer still. That is not great for him. It's not to compromise him on high fuel in the race, but that's how he's comfortable, and that's how he's comfortable. Into Spoon he goes, breaks a little bit on the grass, but doesn't seem to affect him. Goes a little bit too wide. Can he keep it on track? Yes, he does, because he needs to set a valid lap, because he's not set a lap yet. We're going into the sector 2 split on the medium compound tires at 13.6, with 4 tenths of drift of, I think it was Potato, into the chicane, braking at 100 meters, clipping both curbs, not as much on the second one, but coming across the line, Yutago comes, it's going to be a 30.5. P6.
Yes, and actually Skeppy has invalidated, so he's looking to go for another run. Around 3 minutes left to qual 55, I don't make the assumption. You know the exact number. 4 minutes left, at least for me. So, probably around a minute or off. So, it is what it is. Ron on an outlap now on the softs. Goofy is going for a run actually in the McLaren. 5 tenths up on his lap time going into sector 2, but going to sector 3 now, he's 6 tenths up on his lap time. Output it at a 31 flat. Let's see what he's going to have to see and do. Going through the final chicane now, the first and only chicane at Japan. Coming across the line, he will set a 31 flat, which will put him ahead of Woofy due to the fact that he's not a valid lap time. but he's on an outlap right now, so...
Ichigo's gone P3 on the
be-
mediums. I think we missed that one.
Yes, we did actually. A 29.8 on the mediums. That's a really strong lap time. We thought Bad Bunny's lap time on the medium was strong. That was nothing compared to a 29.8 for the Alfa Romeo driver. Ichigo is going for another run. Like I said, let's see sector 2 split. He's actually a 10th down.
But
Not
that's
all
actually
is
not bad.
lost, really.
Yeah, because he set that lap on the soft, so being only a 10th down on the medium shows there's a lot more time in his lap. And he decides to come into the pit.
He's in the pit lane.
He might have time for one more soft run if he chooses to do so, which he might. And I'm assuming Ichigo will probably stay on these mediums. Oh, looks like he's setting up to go for...
Yeah, I'm looking at the Ferrari driver of Ron. His sector 1 time was 2 tenths up, actually, I believe it was. Going into Spoon now. It wasn't the cleanest of runs, but still a good run coming out of Spoon nonetheless. Now the long straight heading into the sector 3 split. Let's see what sector 2 time was.
12.7.
A 12.7. Purple sector 2, 5 tenths up on his lap time, roughly. Not put him Bardell, but behind Skeppy. So he's gonna have to find a lot of time, really. The pass and get for the time being, coming across the line.
He misses
pole
by 200 of a second. But very close between the top two.
NXT actually is only he's 3 tenths up.
And through
on
the
the
first as a bit of a lockup, but they get a good exit, and he does.
Going into Spoon now.
See how he takes Spoon just after the 50s when you turn in. Oh, misses the apex a little bit. Misses the next apex and goes out wide and doesn't invalidate because his run was very poor, so makes sense to not invalidate. Is he still up? He's like 2.5 tenths up through the first sector. He's 3 tenths up. Going into 130R. Obviously. Holding her, interestingly, so I'm guessing he's on higher wings. Going through the chicane, Skeppy's retired in the feeling.
He has.
Here comes Ichigo across the line. Goes third on the medium compound tires. That is a very good lap from Ichigo. 29.3.
Yes, Goofy's retired from the session. Whiffy goes P7. Yeet Doggo on an out lap. I'm not sure how much time's left, so you're gonna have to tell me when qualifying is over.
Oh, and Ichigo's a bit of a
But
I can't quite see the seconds after quality.
Alright, so qualifying will be over by the time Potato reach 130R. Yeah, Potato going in the Spoon now. He's keeping it clean. He's very, very smooth on the throttle. And with his steering input now going into the sector 3 split, we're going to have to wait and see if the Williams driver can do anything about Skeppy's full time. He's actually a 10th. This qualifying's over, by the way. DXT is not doing another run.
Yeah, he's just going to nurse those tires.
Yep, Whiffy's not in another run, so it's going to be down to Potato. Potato coming across the line. He improves 30.1, but it will not be enough, so
Skeppy's on pole.
That is qualifying done and dusted. It will be the Haas driver of BRL Skeppy that will take pole position with the Ferrari driver of Ron, who's only a point off of Gary. Will start P2, but Gary will start P10. He actually didn't set a valid lap time, actually.
And something that might hurt Ichigo in the race is the fact that he's done 3 laps on these mediums. Laps, or almost 3, and then backed off on his second one too. Those tires are gonna have quite a bit of wear on them.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
We're waiting on Whiffy
how
to get back to the pits. And something I saw before when Ardell spun, he actually retired on track, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it's allowed.
That's not allowed. Retiring on track is not allowed.
Yeah.
So, steward.
Because I saw Ardell spinning on the exit of I think it's called the exit of the S section. He was backwards, and then he just retired on track. We're waiting on Whiffy to retire.
Wow. like to point out that the AI are actually racing each other, so that's pretty cool.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Come on,
We
McPhee,
have some
retire.
sort of entertainment. There you go. There you go. There's qualifying done and dusted. Like we said, Haas of the BRL Skeppies on pole. We had the Ferrari of Ron Swanson, the American, which next week's at Coda. So majority of the grid will have their own Grand Prix, but we're not in America. This is Japan. So Ron P2, DXD P3, Ardell P4, Potato P5, My Buddy P6, Wiffy P7, Hidalgo P8, Goofy, the newcomer P9. Excited to see what he can do, and Gary P10.
Not setting a lap.
So, yes, that is very interesting. So he'll have free tire choice, I believe.
Yeah, he will, because he has not set a foul lap, so he will have free tire choice.
Yes, so that is going to be an advantage for the race. Oh, he's going to be a driver to look out for, though, negotiate through the way through this field, but it isn't going to be as hard as it would be, considering that it's 10 drivers, but still, going to be challenging nonetheless. I actually do not know the weather for this Grand Prix,
Oh,
so
yeah, I don't either. I don't think anyone said that in chat.
yeah, I need to ask for weather. There you go. I gotta ask for race weather in Tier 3 chat. Alright, there we go. I got weather reports. It's gonna be an all dry Grand Prix, so no rain will be in the factor. It's gonna be down to raw pace, and the one, by the way, I did not mention that the DRS zone will be down the main straight. Only one, it'll be activated lap 3, but it will not be in the use until lap 4, so a little information there. Is now the formation lap will be underway. So, what are you expecting for this race, really? I'm expecting a lot of action, really, going into turn 1.
So Gary's indeed starting on the medium compound tires, which I'd expect him to do if he has free tire choice.
Alternate strategy. I was told, I've gotten a mixed bag from Realistic Tier, really, saying that the the alternate strategy is better strategy, but also I've been told that the main strategy is better, so.
Really depends where you end up before you hit off the mediums, because the softs tend to overheat at the end of sector 1, which has caused a lot of understeer, and the softs do drop off very quickly, so the mediums will be the quicker tire pretty early on in the race, so that will help the chicken. But he needs to be able to try and hold position off the start, which is obviously very difficult, starting on the mediums.
Yeah. I need to pull up the, what am I doing? I need to pull up the tires, there we go. DXD, Bad Bunny, Yitago, and Gary, all are still on the medium. 6 drivers on the softs, 4 will be on the medium, so we're gonna look out for those 4 drivers and take a notice again on all these soft runners. My personal prediction will be around lap 4, lap 5, when these softs start dropping off, but we're gonna have to wait and see. We're now entering sector 3 to end this formation lap.
And no one has been disqualified yet, which kind of surprises me.
Well, now the AI have taken over these drivers' cars now. I'll see if I can catch it. There you go. No, I wasn't able to. But we have Skeppy lighting up on the grid now. Really waiting on Gary now. In the mediums, Mercedes, like we said, he's going to be a factor to look out for. But looking at Skeppy now. 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. And it looks like that Skeppy and Ron had an equal start. And actually, Ron gets the better of Skeppy. They're going wheel to wheel, 2 rows abreast as DXT goes very wide going in the turn 1. Ron and Skeppy still going wheel to wheel. Ron trying to give Skeppy enough room as Skeppy pinches out Ron. Ardell has a little bit of wing damage. No, he does not actually apologize as DXT should go already up to P3, and that's a Ferrari around. That is actually Whiffy. Gary, and I believe had a piece of that as Goofy and the McLaren is off. Now looking into the front pack, it seems like everyone has stalled out from each other. Skeppy's already pulled out to around an 8/7 lead ahead of Ron, so after clearing Ron, he's already quickly gotten ahead. But something that is very important, DXT is already up in the P3, but still is being put under pressure by the Red Bull Bardell. So another yellow flag for Whiffy. So that is unfortunate for his day to start out. But Ardell is on the rear gearbox of the Alfa Romeo driver of DXT. She go, do not get on that curve, Ardell. It's going to spin you out. As he's able to catch it, fortunately, as Bad Bunny Flow and P5 actually. Box of these guys. What a calm and also very chaotic lap. What is Ardell is actually trying to look for a move. DXT very late under braking. The Ballard doesn't even last a lap. F in the chat to that boy. But at the conclusion of lap 1, we're already breaking the toe. Ardell's on the rear gearbox of DXT should go. He's gonna have to slipstream. He's gonna pull out to the right hand side. They're gonna wheel to wheel. Ardell misses a braking point, does a little crossover move, hits the curb. That will hinder his exit. DXT once again stays ahead, but Ardell needs to get around DXT now because no!
That is not good for
That's Ardell around. Like we said, the curbs will play a factor. I had a squeaky moment right there, but like we said, the curbs will play a factor. We already have our first victim.
I'm assuming there will be many more of those to come. And Whiffy gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit. Will he retire or will he continue? I'm not sure. But Skeppy already broken the DRS of Ron.
Yeah, that's Whiffy. I thought that was Ron for a second. I was sitting there confused. But like you said, Skeppy's already broken the DRS between himself and Ron. But DXT, he needs to stay in this DRS range of Ron if he wants, like, he'll still have a decent chance at Skeppy, but staying in the DRS is absolutely crucial. It won't even matter for lap 3. He needs to stay in the DRS range of Ron until lap 4, basically, because the DRS, the drag reduction system, by the way, if you don't know what it is, stands for drag, like I said already, you gain an extra 10 kilometers, but if you're American, you gain extra 5 miles an hour as Whiffy's off once again, which is unfortunate. DXT with a snap, really, hitting the ERS button way too early to correct the car, as DRS, like I said, is enabled. He says fastest lap, as that's actually Potato getting around, not Potato, Gary getting around Potato. He's already up to the P6.
Gary had a pretty average start, kind of held position, stayed back, and with Ardell spinning everyone, it kind of pulled some of the pack up a bit, so Gary making good progress. And Ichigo on the back of Ron, so it looks like Ron is struggling a lot. Skeppy's already pulled the gap to 2 seconds, so if I'm not mistaken, he's pulled half a second just through the essence. Ron looking a little bit wide.
Like you said in the formation lap, is Ron's sauce just overheating already? 60's looking for a dive! What a send! Ron with the crossover, though. He's able to get ahead, really, but they're still wheel to wheel. Ron is not using the battery, but oh! I'm not sure if they made a little contact right there, but it seemed like DXT pitched Ron to the grass, really. And that is DXT already up in the P2. Ron, is Ron's sauce already overheating?
That would not surprise me. It looks like they're understeering a lot, so that would make sense if they're overheating. So I think Ron just needs to tuck in behind Ichigo and hopefully get pulled along. And these two need to not battle because they can't let Skeppy run away too far because he's already 2.5 seconds up the road.
Something I do want to point out is that the battle for P5 between Gary and Neat Doggo is already shaping up. Something I want to point out, the medium runners had an excellent first 3 laps, really. Went from, let's see actually, tire position change as Gary gets ahead of Yeet Doggo. With that, the medium runners, DXT sort of P3, He's already went up one spot to P2. Bad Bunny started P6, went up in the P4. Gary started last, already up in the 5th place. Doggo started 8th, is up to 6th. So what an excellent start for these medium runners, which is going to be absolutely crucial later on in this Grand Prix.
Yep, the medium runners need to not. Oh, Skeppy already gets a 3-second time penalty. That is not good for his race.
Hey, but those softs really, it's already looking like, if we're going to look, really, Skeppy's using the battery already trying to get DXD out of the 3-second range, but so is DXD as well, using the battery to stay in that 3-second range. So already, everyone except for Skeppy still penalty free.
But there's still a long race, so it would not surprise me if Skeppy gets more penalties or the rest of the day gets penalties. And the race is sort of just calmed down and there's big gaps between drivers. So the main battles are between Gary, Doggo, and Potato, and the battle for P2 between Ron and Ichigo.
The thing I do want to point out though is if we get a DRS train starting the form, if Bad Bunny gets in this DRS range between DXD and Ron is Gary, he's on a flyer. He's on a flyer right now, 32.3 on the mediums. So if Bad Bunny gets in the DRS range, Gary's only a second off from Bad Bunny. So it seems like we're going to have a little DRS train starting the form because Doggo is not even that far off of Gary as well. And Potato, the Williams machine, is only half a second behind. So speaking of Potato, he had a little Tokyo Drift moment going through there. So that's already 2 drivers. It seems like Ron Soft probably have pulled off. He's not losing as much time as yellow flag.
Yeah, it's fun again.
That's
and it looks like Gary, he doesn't have much ERS, but I think he's just trying to push to get into the DRS, or at least get in DRS at Bad Bunny, which I think is the smartest decision. It's best to be in DRS with no ERS than have lots of ERS and not have any DRS at all.
Yes, because if you're in that DRS range, if you're able to even stay in the DRS range, you can save a lot of DRS, really. He sees it at your disposal, especially when the pit stops start coming around. That's the yellow flag. That is Doggo heading in the spoon. We saw that actually yesterday with the Mercedes driver of Boss Cookie.
Yeah, Bernardo on the back of Goofy will keep using all of his battery to close in. I would just wait for the main straight. They are only 3/10 back. Will he try to make a lunge down the inside? He'll stay behind and he's going to go past on the main straight, I assume.
Yeah, he's right on the rear gear, but he's probably going to do it. He's using on the battery.
Doesn't really need
Goofy's
to.
not using any battery.
Well, they almost made contact.
Yeah, I was close. And that is Ardo ahead.
Yeah, and Ichigo maintaining the gap with Skeppy, but Skeppy has more ERS than Ichigo. Ron at 9/10 behind, so he's got to hang on to his DRS or...
Oh, he's out of it now.
Yeah, he's out of it now. He's got to use battery to get back in. So it looks like Ron really struggling.
Oh, Gary got ahead of Bad Bunny just now.
And Degner won. That is a opportunistic move.
Yeah, but it worked. He's only at 17 battery though.
Oh,
that's another yellow flag. Goofy. That is for Goofy. No front wing.
I'm guessing
that is unfortunate.
I'm guessing he clipped the grass on the outside and made him spin around like Ardell did in quali, but hit the wall. Yep, he's got no front wing.
Another yellow flag, yeah, that's for Goofy. But the closest battle on track right now is for P4 between Bad Bunny and Gary, really.
But Gary
just have to wait.
DRS.
That's Bad Bunny is around 50, so he will probably. Ron is back into the DRS range of DXD Ichigo, so
very crucial for his race. Because I'd say Ichigo probably is on the better strategy, being in P2 on the medium compound tires and maintaining the gap to P1. Ron needs to stay in this DRS for a couple more laps, and then he can get on the mediums.
Yeah, I believe Ron right now is just saving his softs. If you saw in lap 2 especially, he was struggling. I would have to come to an hypothesis that he was overheating. But ever since letting DXD stay ahead of him, really, it's kind of seems like he's just letting those softs stay calm.
He drops like 3/10.
Drops.
Or no, half a second now. Goofy pits. And so does Goofy to repair that front wing damage. Goofy speeds in the pits.
Oh, I think DXT's already caught up half a second on the Hot Driver BRL Skeppy, so I think those mediums just came to life.
Yep.
I think those mediums are coming to life here.
Spins. He clips the
Oh no!
Oh,
That is
That is not good.
Is that front wing damage?
He doesn't clip the wall.
Oh no!
Ichigo was, I would say, he was in the best contention to win this race, being within 2 seconds of the lead of the strategy. So that completely opens up this race.
See.
Well, I guess we'll see this race like crazy.
Nope. No, he's fine.
Looks like he's okay. He might have minor front wing damage.
If it's anything, it's probably chipped, but how bad this game is. Nope, he's not coming in. That's no front wing damage. He's fine.
But he's lost a lot of time. Yeah, he's lost like almost 10 seconds from that spin. Taking too tight of a line and clipping the grass. And spin around. So Skeppy now
it doesn't help the fact.
has a 4-second lead, so that's opened up this race. And Gary's not in DRS either, so he can't be dragged along by anyone.
Another yellow flag. That is
Bad
Bunny. Yes, it is. That helps DXT out.
Does indeed. But he was one of the highest medium runners, so not good for his race at all. Taylor coming to the back of Ichigo, not quite in DRS, but he has 80% ERS, so he's safe for her. I think he's to use some of that to close that 2/10 gap to get into the DRS of Ichigo. So I'm assuming the soft runner should be in the next couple of laps.
They should be.
Looks like Gary, I think, has closed the gap down to Ron. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was around 2.8 seconds at the start of the lap. Down to 2.1. So yeah, those softs are really dropping off. And Ron has definitely closed that gap to Skeppy's lead. Down by about 5 tenths. So Skeppy and Ron are on the same amount of ERS, but Gary's got nothing. So it's down to raw pace between the top two. Not much happening because no one is within a second each other, so no battles on track. I don't know what's happened to that.
I was muted the whole time.
Oh.
I'm actually so silly. Yeah, it was muted. I apologize. I'm silly like that. But something I think because when I unmute my headset, like tunes everything out for a split second and it cut you out for me, but I'm not sure if he said it, but closing down the gap between himself and Ron.
Yeah.
Gary's only disadvantage is the battery.
Yeah, he has not saved his ERS very well. And yeah, because I'm pretty sure at the end of last lap it was 2.8 seconds, so those offs are really going off. And I'm pretty sure this is the pit window, but I'm assuming Ron might stay out because he hasn't used any ERS. And on your end lap, you want to push as hard as you can with the ERS, so you don't hit 100% in the pit lane. As Skeppy pits on 80% ERS, so you can advantage of that.
Ron's in.
Ron in as well.
Ron's coming in as well.
So Gary will take the provisional lead. Will anyone else hit? Yep, Potato's in.
Ardell would probably come in. Yep, he's in.
Yep, all the soft runners in. So Ron
I would have.
No, Gary leading the medium train by 5.5 seconds to Ichigo. So these medium runners that have just pit, soft runners that just put on the mediums will get a huge undercut on these medium runners because they have about 10 lap fresher tires. But the medium runners will be on the quicker tires at the end of the race, which is the advantage.
Yep, we're just gonna have to wait and see really, because if the mediums, they last longer than the softs, and they're like golden period, you could say, comes in later than the soft runners. And it would be actually be around now when these mediums for Gary Deeks when they probably come to life. So they're the new guys are probably not gonna gain as much as they want to, but Skeppy's already closed in around 3 to 4 tenths to Yeet Doggo. So I'm probably just speaking out of my head here, but we just have to wait and see. But that Skeppy 3-second time penalty will definitely play in the factor in this Grand Prix.
It definitely will. And the closest battle on track right now is Ardell and Potato. As Ardell had that early spin, but I got this one very early on in the race and very late on, because you can actually have laps to make up time. Ardell tried to make a move on Potato. Within 7 tenths has a lot of batteries, but they're both using the 130 yard.
Ardell's using it all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you don't use it all!
Oh.
He's retired!
Will that be a safety car? I'm assuming so. That was in the... Right?
Yep, there it is.
Car.
Oh, this dog... Where did Yeet Doggo go?
Yeet Doggo
he spun!
At turn 1. Under safety car. Yeah, Ardell, he not put enough steering lock on, so he's on the outside curb with overtake on, with only 2 tires, so that's going to spin you very easily. So this opens up the race for the medium runners, because will they stay out or will they go out with hard compound tires?
This is the worst period a safety car could come out for these medium runners, or I'd like to point something out. What they can do is they can pit for softer mediums because they negate that tire choice rule. I've went over it many times. I'm not going over it again. I'm not law. But if they do that, in the next lap, they pit for mediums again.
That's probably the best decision because it's such a small grid, so...
You could do that.
That's what I would do.
That would be the best decision.
Yeah, it would be. So, will Gary come into the pit lane? We'll have to see. This definitely helps Gary in a way because he was...
Yep, Gary's in.
So what tires will he go on to? This helps Gary, kind of, because he gets all his ERS back. And he goes on to the hard compound tires. So he's playing full for track position.
DXD is coming in. So Bad Bunny, Yeet Doggo will definitely come in. DXD's in, like I said. Hards.
Bad Bunny comes in. And Yeet Doggo, yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah, everyone's spinning. So Skeppy retakes the lead and is on the faster tires, and they're only 1 lap older.
So, Bad Bunny. Yeet Doggo goes on sauce.
Yep.
He's gonna go mediums.
Or he could maybe drag softs to the end, but I wouldn't recommend that because softs are not a great race tire.
I would not.
And I think if he pits also, he's not going to lose any more track position, so it makes sense to pit again.
Something I do want to point out is I'm Swan with this, and DXD's up to P4. So, DXD, even with that spin, he's back in this.
Yeah, he's back in the race, but those hards might not come into play at all because of the safety car period, so this helps the medium runners in terms of keeping the tire life, and they're only a lap old. And doing like 16 laps or so. I don't know what so only doing like 16 laps on these tires is not easy. Or, yeah, it's very easy, so the hards might not have any advantage at all at the end of this race. Goofy pits for mediums.
Yep. So, let's see if anyone does what I said.
Getting back on the mediums. Well, I'm assuming Yeet Doggo will. Because, yeah, it makes the most sense for Yeet Doggo. Because he's not going to lose track position on the defense.
No one would if they pitted right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think any of the people that went on the hard compound tires are going to pit again. Unless there's another safety.
Especially Gary.
Yeah, Gary.
Especially Gary.
Yeah. So with that Ardell DNF, that sets him back in the championship fight even more, because going to this round, he's already like 39 points off the lead. That's gonna get rid of his early championship hopes. It's gonna start fading away.
There's only, I'm assuming I think it's 8. But still, not all is lost, but
anything can happen.
the clock is ticking.
But yeah. with that DNF, and at this moment, it's going to be almost a 60-point difference between Arnell and Gary if it finishes like this.
That's 2 races. That is a 2-race difference.
Yeah. Yeah, Arnell in the early season, 4 back-to-back podiums. Looked like he was gonna have a pretty comfortable championship lead, but it's been these past, I think, 5 races, about 5 races where he's been finishing like P10 or DNFing, or out of the points. He's at the 1 P4 in Monza, but still, even that race, he lost in the championship and Gary the past 2 P2s and P1, so he's really closing this championship gap and looks like the lead of the last race.
Yeah, but that championship gap between Gary and Ron, only 1 point in Japan. It's only going to be 4 if it stays with the way how it is. Actually, no, it wouldn't. I'll put Gary P1 and Ron P2 with the Skeppy penalty. So 5-18, that's 7. It's going to be an 8-point differential.
Yep. Yeah, I have a feeling that Skeppy showing the pace that he has shown and being on the faster tires, I think Skeppy will pull the gap and be out of DRS of Gary, I would assume.
I think the safety car would come in, right? Because Goofy just caught up, so...
Yeah, the safety car should be in this lap.
It's not giving off the signal yet. It
might
still
show
has...
It might show it red.
Nope, it's staying...
Yep.
No, wow.
Told you.
Wow.
So Skeppy's gonna have to
Wow.
really slow down here to let that safety car go.
This is gonna be a very late going for Skeppy here.
He's all decided to stay out.
Skeppy's going!
Yeah, Skeppy's gone. Hasn't really caught Gary out. But Bad Bunny's caught out massively. 1.2 seconds, so he's caught after him on this ride. Yeah, D-Doggo stayed out on the softs. Going for a very aggressive strategy.
Oh! They're going well to well for the lead, but Skeppy is able to get the traction due to Gary being on the hards, and he is back out in front, really. He needs to start growing this gap, really, because these hards will start coming into the factor, especially in this Grand Prix, so Skeppy needs to go now. He's already a second of a lead, and Ron is already on the rear gearbox of Gary, but DXT's on the rear gearbox of Ron, really. So, isn't say I wouldn't have to positions yet, but DXT's just go. He's poking to look for a move right now, probably. He does not look for a move, at least for now. Skeppy, we said, needs to grow a gap of 3 seconds.
And he's broken that 1 second.
He's already gone at a second.
Yep. And if I was any of the people on the hard combo tires, I would not battle, because that's just going to ruin your own race, because you will have that small tire advantage at the end of this race, so battling right now is useless. You might want to just sit behind Ron if he is a lot faster and let him tow you along up to Skeppy. And Gary has it all to lose as well. The 2 championship contenders, they have a lot to lose. Skeppy, he has nothing to lose being a reserve, so he can take lots of risks where Gary and Ron, they can't take any risks at all. One of them DNF, that'll open up the championship gap massively.
Yep, those softs are going to come into play very early, but like you said, they're going to fall off very quickly here, so Doggo needs to make as much ground as he can, really, as Gary's actually starting to claw that gap back in. So it seems like that Gary, not all is lost, at least so far. That's another yellow flag. That is Bad Bunny, actually. He's off. Unfortunate for the Williams driver. But the gap, 1.2 between Gary and Skeppy. Seems like that Gary's hard tires are already they're probably a little bit cold on the start there, but they're probably warmed up now.
Yep, and they're both on similar ERS, but I'm assuming Gary will use everything to try and stay in this DRS. So I think if he was in DRS for 1 lap or so, he's somewhat locked in. It's another yellow flag. Bad Bunny spinning again on those overheated hard tires.
Thing is for Gary is that DRS does not play in a factor until the 4th lap, and we're coming on the 3rd lap of this. You could say, I wouldn't count it. I'm not sure if you'd say 2nd or 3rd. I would say I'd have to assume it's 3rd.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I think DRS will be in
It's enabled this time by.
Yeah. But
Unless I'm
Gary's not
wrong.
with, yeah, it is. And Gary's
it
not
is.
within 1 second yet.
He's already at 20 battery.
Yeah, I think Skeppy, what he's trying to do is just keep Gary out of DRS as much as he can, because he does have the tire advantage. So he's just trying to keep him out of DRS, so he can try and pull this 3-second gap while he has the tire advantage.
Yeah, Ron is very close as well as
Yellow
being
flag.
out. That is a yellow flag. That's for Woofy.
Yeah, Woofy around again.
Ron may be out of Gary's DRS here.
Yeah, Ron, the race has been really struggling massively. And Woofy spun again. Yeah. If he stops for 2, safety. Yeah, Ron.
Gary. I wouldn't. Here.
He's almost been dropped under DRS.
Oh, it's gonna be close. He's gonna have the battery advantage though. Gary's using it to keep Ron out of it, but once you get below 10, the battery isn't as effective. Yep, he's in it.
Yep. So I think Ron really does need to get past while he has a tire advantage, because at the end of this race, Gary will be. He's got to be careful, because he does have Ichigo right behind him, who has shown, I would say, probably the best pace in this race so far, and has 60% battery. So yeah, Ichigo is the yellow flag. Woofy again at Spoon. So Woofy not having a good race.
While we were talking about that, Itago got around Potato for P5, so Itago making the look out of the sauce, but Gary already at 1.8 as DXD's actually in the rear gearbox of Ron. That is going to be crucial as DXD's sliding going through Degna 1. The gap between Skeppy and Gary
2 seconds.
Now at 2 seconds.
So yeah, Skeppy. Oh, Ichigo goes
Ron,
for
DXD looking for a dive. Ron just lets him through.
Yeah, I think Ichigo, Ichigo does have the better pace. He does have a lot more battery. He's all of this battery that he has to get in within DRS of Gary. He does have like a 50% advantage, so if he uses it all the way down the straight and with your tires in the pit lane. Yeah, Ichigo's gonna try and use it all. Gary not gonna
Get close.
gotta close that gap, but I think, yeah, Ichigo's on very high wings.
Oh, bad buddy 3 second. Oh, it's gonna be close.
I don't know if he got it. He might have missed out by like. Oh no, he did get it.
No, he got it. That is gonna be crucial.
And the different straight line speeds. Ichigo only closed in about 2/10 on that straight, barely, and used battery that entire straight. Oh, and Gary goes very out wide, getting distracted with his AI.
That's a great game right there.
Yeah, I don't know if Gary noticed, but he was ghosting and also Mickey with a lap down, so I don't know, it's just a distraction. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
Can't blame
Ichigo.
Gary on that either.
Yeah, you can't.
Neither Woofy.
Yeah. That's helped Ichigo a lot.
Oh, he's on the rear gearbox. Let's see if he looks for Cynthia though. Yep, he's looking for it. He's diving it and he back.
Yeah, and this little scrap between the two is, yeah.
Look at the gap.
Helped extend it to 3 seconds. But I think if Ichigo can get in front of Gary, Ichigo will have the better tire wear, seeing as he has very low top speed, so he's on higher wings. Oh, and Gary sliding around through Spoon. So yeah, Ichigo will have the better tires, and with Ichigo not sliding around as much, if Ichigo gets ahead, I have a feeling he will be able to close that gap down to Skeppy if he starts to go down and fall away. So he's below 10%, and Ichigo's still at 45%.
I think he's gonna get him here if he gets a good run. It's gonna be close though. He's using the battery.
Yep.
Oh, he's gonna get him. Yep. Goes out to the right hand side and he is done and dusted. At least for now though.
Ichigo through. I don't know if Skeppy made a mistake or if that was down to just DRS, but the gap's closed by about half a second in just the straight alone.
No, that's DXC's raw pace alone. He's already gone a 6-tenths gap to Gary.
Yeah, Ichigo, like I said, has shown, I think, the best pace in this race. When Broad is brought back into the strain, right on the back of Gary.
It's gonna play amends if Gary can stay in the DRS with the Ichigo though. As the gap's already second, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh,
Seems like it's going back. Oh, that's a snap. Seems like Gary is struggling on those cards there a little bit. So one could assume that he's on a straight line setup compared to everyone else on a corner-based setup.
Yeah, Gary's definitely on. Yeah, he's gonna close in this gap. I don't know why he's using it. He doesn't need to overtake Ichigo. He seems to sit behind and try and steal up the battery. But Ichigo will pull through sector 1 on the higher wing. Drop way too much. This will allow Skeppy to keep extending this gap. Gary go
we have to wait and see. That's one weave. You cannot do more than 2 weaves without break the BRL rules, and I'll be sitting as a steward, as Gary cannot get anything done.
Yep. Well, and I think Ichigo will pull away a lot in this S section. So see how much the gap extends.
Something I'm looking out for, by the way.
It's Skeppy's made a mistake.
Oh, that Skeppy's off! Oh!
That is definitely opening up this race. Skeppy's kept it on
What's
the wall.
happened? They're going will to will for the lead, by the way, going into Degna 1. Why, game? Why did you give me a terrible camera? But DXD backs out of it, so...
Yeah, that's...
the door is open.
Ichigo looks up the inside, but is really far back. So can't make the move, but yeah, it's great for Skeppy to save the car, but that's somewhat his chance of winning this race with the foreseeable future. But anything can happen. So the question is, will Ichigo try not to overtake Skeppy?
He just needs to stay in the 30-second threshold. I wouldn't risk it all, really. If you look for a move on Skeppy, you are taking that risk of contact happening and essentially just ruining your race here. So
yeah,
I would rather be safe here.
Yeah, if I was Ichigo, I would just sit within the DRS range until Skeppy's tires start to go away and save the battery, and then at the end of the race, go for the move on track.
Well, also, with that, if you're sitting there staying back, what if... It's a whole bunch of what-ifs here. What if Gary gets a better run in the rear gearbox, and then you would have to defend off, really? You have to use all your battery. You're in a box. You're stuck in a box here. So, I think you need to stay in the middle ground of wasting all of your battery to pass Skeppy, but also saving it off. No way! That's no way!
That helps Ron in this championship. Yeah.
I missed that. That's... Yeah.
But yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, I think that corner is called Dunlop, but yeah, he hit the inside curve, which if you continue steering on that curve, it will spin you. Is that not a safety car?
That's not a safety car. No way.
And that helps Ron, but also doesn't in terms of making up more positions because he is now out of the DRS train. Skeppy gets another time penalty.
That's nope. What has happened? This race has been turned upside down.
Yeah, and Skeppy's got no battery, so I guess Skeppy's just trying to break out of the DRS at Ichigo. But with 6 seconds of penalties, and I think last time I checked, Ichigo had only 1 warning. Yep, Ichigo has only 1 warning, and Ron has 11.
Wow. A miracle is going to have to happen for Skeppy to keep this race win. Skeppy's going to be on the podium nonetheless if he doesn't crash out or a safety car doesn't occur.
Yeah.
So, I think the top 3 to stay how it is, but we're going to have like a different top 3 between the 3.
Oh, Skeppy loses
if there's no safety
the
car. No! Did he just... No way!
Oh.
That's Skeppy off!
And Ichigo gets damage, and Ron takes the lead in this race, and Ichigo has damage.
I'm down
race.
bad right now with these camera settings.
This race.
I'm so down.
I have no words. This race keeps
We just jinxed them both so hard.
Yeah, you said the top 3 would stay the same, but Potato on the podium, and Ichigo is damaged, so
I am so down bad with these camera settings. I literally switched off the Skeppy when he started spinning.
So this helps Ron of the championship. If he wins this race, his championship
So,
lead.
about Ron, I'm not gonna say anything, but
Well,
I'm just not gonna say anything.
he's been struggling, but Ichigo definitely has light front wing damage. If he didn't get damage from that, that's insane. But I think Ichigo's gonna take the pain and try and stay out because it looks like it's very minor damage. So Potato put into position for a podium.
I'm not sure. It looked he and Skeppy made contact. If he has wing damage, no, that's a chip front wing. I can see it.
Yeah, it's a minor
That's a
wing
chipped
damage.
front wing.
But yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah, that's.
So Ron has no pressure. He does not need to take any risks. This is crucial for the championship as we're closing into the end of the season. A DNF late on is not going to help you with a championship contender winning the race or in the lead to win.
Unless Ron takes fastest lap, the gap will be 24 points between Gary and Ron entering Coda.
Yeah, and there will be I think 6 rounds left or 7.
It's
7.
8.
Well, yeah, after this race,
Oh,
it'll be
7?
7. Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny fast.
This race is throwing everything at us. And yeah, looking at the chat, Sweller, commentators curse. Yeah, you're not wrong. That just seems to happen.
Yeah, it just seems to happen. It is what it is. I use my wrath. It's unintentional.
Flag. That's for Bad Bunny who spins
That's for Bad Bunny.
But he's already so far behind that he just needs to finish this race. And he'll take his P6 and fastest lap. Oh, and he spins again. He flips the grass at the end of the race. Nope, he got more damage.
No.
He's still in the race.
It is what it is. Just don't crash out. I don't.
And Goofy.
You get.
And P5 on his debut.
You get 1, 2, 4, 6. You get a guaranteed 8 points here if you finish the race.
Yep. Yeah, and that gap between Ichigo and Potato closing down a little bit. Obviously, because of Ichigo's front wing damage, but Ichigo on the higher wings does, I guess, help a little bit in terms of limiting how much you lose. Yeah, Ron's extended the gap by like 2 seconds already. So Ichigo just needs to not make any more mistakes and try and hold on to this P2. Although Ichigo's very far behind in the championship, it's not over till it is over. But this will move him up to P4 in the standings if he finishes in this P2. Bad Bunny speeds in the pit lane, but that's not going to make a difference.
He's going to pit for softs again, try and steal his own fastest lap.
He also has front wing damage. So yeah,
the gap
really close to this gap down. Going on to lap 25. But Ichigo's got to try and hold on to this podium.
Potato is using all of his ERS though that he would catch up to Ichigo.
And I don't think if Potato gets into this with Ichigo, he's somewhat past because the front wing damage and Ichigo being on high wings. So he's slow in a straight line and slow in the corners, so like, yeah.
That's a double whammy.
It is definitely
he has no leg, but the other leg is half of the other leg's chopped off, so.
Yeah.
He's just relying on a limb right now.
He's gotta hope Potato makes a mistake. Because, yeah, he's about to be DRS, so Ichigo's chances of P2 here are kind of going away, but I think he'll just take the podium.
Also, I do want to point out though is that Doggo is closing very, very quickly the Potato here, so I don't think it'll matter, but
it's 13 seconds.
Still,
it'll be 2 laps. Unless they at least like crazy or they crash, he's not closing 13 seconds in 2 laps. Yeah, we'll see. Will Potato make the move on Ichigo on the straight? Ichigo obviously with that front wing damage. I don't know what side it's on. I don't know.
It was on the right side. It's on the right side.
Okay. The Potato just staying in the DRS. Man, there's no point going for the move when you're 7/10 back on the straight.
Yeah. Here we go. The dirty air though for Potato.
Yeah, but he will definitely pull in a lot with Ichigo's no downforce, so it'll be understeer. It's crazy. But Ichigo does have 90% ERS.
Well, not all is lost here.
If he could,
They actually didn't. Potato didn't gain that much.
yeah. Okay, Ichigo still has a chance if he's able to keep in front on the straight and going into 130R. So Ichigo just needs to. I'd say going into 130R, he needs to use a bunch of battery. Back up again.
He's at 100.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not a good run for DXD though. But the outside lane, I noticed that if you like stay committed to the outside lane here, especially for like characters like those, you get a better run than staying on the inside lane. So
but yeah, with the
that was
front wing
pretty
damage,
cool.
you just need to focus on exits because obviously you're not going to get the front turning, so you can't get good entries. But
There you go.
Ichigo not using any battery. I don't know why. He might just let him pass.
Potato is.
All of his DRS.
Here we go. He's looking for on the inside. Oh, he backs out.
Good, because that was going to be a very big crash.
There we go.
So Ichigo needs a good exit and he uses all of his battery.
He got a good one.
Yep, and he starts using. But Ichigo does not have good straight line speed. Like he has the ERS advantage. He chooses to not use any more ERS, I'm guessing to save for 130R.
There we go. Just keeping it clean through there. Potato just needs to sling it everywhere that he can.
He needs to put Ichigo under pressure
send it.
because Ichigo does not have any front down force. There's no turning.
He needs to look for a move right here.
I'd say yeah.
Or at least try and poke his nose.
Ichigo's a little bit wide, but does not lose the car. He did not clip the sand or the grass. Potato might go for a move into the hairpin. Ichigo definitely has the big ear advantage. I don't know why he's not using more to extend the gap. Yeah, Ichigo.
Here we go.
He just needs a good run. He does get a good one. So I don't know why Ichigo's not using, because he has 100%, but I guess he's confident that he's able to stay in front.
Yeah, but going into Spoon now, will Potato have anything to say about it? DXT is getting quite the good run, but Potato gets a better one, but
here we go.
While we look for the battle for P2, we have to look on for Ron, for at least right now, enter the final chicane, the Skidoo Ferrari driver. Stuck to P3, but there's a little battle shaping up for P2. He's probably gonna look for a sin. You're at the commentate over me. But the Ferrari driver of Ron will win the Japanese Grand Prix. Quickly looking back here for P2 though.
I think Ichigo got it.
Between Potato DXT. Nope, that's DXT P2. He gets his. Nope, that's DXT P2.
Yep.
That was a terrible ending for me, Potato.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a drag for Ichigo though with that front wing damage. But yeah, Potato, I don't think he was aggressive enough. He could definitely just force his way through with Ichigo not being able to really fight back with the lack of turning, so but clean nonetheless from both of them with Potato backing out at 130R that one time, because that would have been a huge crash between the two with the angle that he was going at into the corner.
Well, the debut driver for the McLaren driver, I forgot his name, I apologize, but he got P5 on his debut. A lot better than the other debut drivers.
Yep, he finished, I think, P5, right?
Yeah, he got P5, that is 10 points.
And Yitago gets driver of the day. Yeah,
yep.
Goofy P5.
Bad Buddy fastest lap. So that will be 9 points. Bad Bunny, wow. Goofy, P5 debut, like I said. 10 points to his our podium finishers, the American lockout for P1 and P2 for Rod and DXD, and the Australian Potato gets P3. I'm inviting everyone to get in the party.
Alright.
Oh, wait, just sit here and wait.
This is definitely a crucial race for this championship, as Ron retakes the lead after losing it, after had been leading it for so long. Now it's a 24-point gap between the two. Going to USA.
Nice dog, by the way. Ooh. Is everyone in here? I'm not sure. Yeah. Alright. Make sure everyone's audio is included. Memo, why did you start us off with the Australian Williams driver Potato? For this very up and down Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was a crazy race, but Potato, congratulations on your podium. Tell me about your race.
Yeah, thank you. I was just hoping to get some decent points because not many people attended and ended up getting lucky at the end with people crashing out and all the chaos.
Yeah.
Staying out of trouble.
Yeah, you stayed out of trouble. That is the main thing when the attendance is low, is to stay out of trouble and finish. And you'll end up getting a good result, which you did, so well done.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, Zach?
No, I did not. Congratulations on your P3, Potato. Now, we move on to P2. That for my old driver, Dixie Shigo. Dixie, you seem like you were the fastest driver in the grid, aside from Skeppy. Speaking of Skeppy, he had some little contact. I'm gonna have to assume that you had damage. You can answer that for review, but give us your thoughts about that race incident with Skeppy.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty dejected right now. Qualifying was piss poor. I didn't get to go on the softs, which is annoying. My PB's at 28.4, which I'm very proud of because I hate this track, but I didn't get to set it. And then the mediums actually worked out a lot better than I thought they would. I thought we have a lap 1 safety car, but we didn't. And then from then on, the pace was good. And then I spun, which was a bit annoying, but the pace was still coming good. I was catching Gary, and the safety car came out. And after that, I was just sticking with the top 3. Ron let me pass. Thank you, Ron. Good teamwork. And then Gary died. That was nice. And then Skeppy died, and that wasn't so nice. And to answer your question, I did get damage. And then I was just understeering for the rest of the race, so I'm not very happy. I wanted that win really badly. It's 5 races in a row now where I've had a shot to win and I haven't gotten it, so it's whatever, I guess.
Do you have any questions for Dixie Shigo?
No, other yeah, you did a good job defending against Potato on that last couple laps when you was closing the gap with your front wing damage. But yeah, good job.
Yep, and congratulations on your P2, Dixie. I know you said it yourself. It isn't what you wanted, but still, 18 points compared to none is really, really great. But now we move on to our race winner for our driver, Ron. We preach it about you all the time. Your consistency is always key. Your consistency once again proved reigns above everyone else, really, with everyone around you crashing, really. You were the one to pick up the pieces. Just give us your thoughts, really, and what happened in your POV of all the crashes around you.
A lot happened. I hate this track. I hate Canada. I hate pretty much every track I do good at, apparently, and every track I love and I feel fast at, I get wrecked out. So I guess that's why I won this race. I felt bad for... Well, at first, I got a little mad because Ardell decided to wreck himself, I guess, and the safety car came out, and that didn't help me because I gave Gary a free pit stop, and he was in front, and all I wanted, and DXD knew this, is all I wanted was to just finish ahead of him. It's championship battle, I want to be ahead of him. And so I was behind him. He started dying off on those hards. I don't know if his setup or whatever did in our tires, but he was all the way around, and then he lost the rear end going up. I think it's like turn 7 or 8. I don't know the turn, sadly. And he went to the left, and then all of a sudden he just went dead right, and I knew he was gonna explode because he nosed right in, and he DNF'd. Luckily there was no safety car. And then the very next lap, all I heard was DXD go, Skeppy crashed, and I was like, oh yeah, and then all I heard was him scream, and I was like, oh no. And so it was cool to get the win, but I was content with 3rd or 2nd as long as I was just ahead of Gary, because at this point, you know, you just gotta think of the points battle, I guess. So I guess it was good to win, but I hate this track with like a burning passion. I just did nothing for the last 6 laps. I went as slow as possible.
Yeah. Well, Moo, do you have any questions for our race winner?
Yeah, come on.
How are you feeling
Come
about
on.
Coda? Do you hate that truck as well?
I actually like Coda, so expect me to get wrecked out
I
at
was
some
about to
point
say,
during that race.
Based on what's happened this season, it looks like you're not finishing
I
Coda.
liked Baku, died. I liked Russia. I died every time we had a safety car restart. What else? Bahrain, I died.
Hungry.
And then Hungary, I liked Hungary, but I wasn't that fast there. But I died, even though... That's another thing that I do want to bring up. We had 10 people again, just like in Hungary. And I think, what? 4 people finished Hungary, 6 people finished this one. A lot of people like to wreck out when we only have 10 people.
Yeah, but this is big for your championship with Gary not finishing the race, with Gary closing that championship gap that you had in the last.
I think he was ahead of me
4
by
races.
1, I think.
Yeah.
I
you
just
got a
had...
24-point lead.
I didn't like Singapore, Imola, or not Imola, Monza didn't go my way. Those were my worst finishes, was 6th place, and then I don't think that was my worst finish. I don't remember, to be honest. Devastating. Then that's my worst finish.
Yeah.
Besides for my several DNFs, but yeah, it's fun. What's after America?
Mexico.
Mexico.
And
You
what's
hate
after
that one
Mexico?
too.
Yeah, I don't like
Brazil. I think.
Brazil, I don't like that one. What's after that?
Jeddah?
Australia.
Australia. I completely forgot that track
Oh, I
exists.
hate that
I knew I
track.
was forgetting one track.
Yeah, because it's so fucking forgettable.
Yeah, we didn't race it last season, but yeah. Ooh, did you have fun?
Yeah, I did.
Did you like the 4-car
Yeah.
battle?
Yeah, that was interesting, and yeah, congratulations on winning and win Coda.
No, I gotta be in a...
Well, I think that will wrap up the Tier 3 stream. But here in about 40 minutes, we're gonna have Tier 4 tackle on Japan.
Yep.
But tomorrow, the fastest 2 tiers will go at Japan. But after that, I believe that will be ACC. On Monday, we'll have ACC, and then on Wednesday, that will start off the week for F2 at Coda. And we'll see you in about 40